I clutch my iced tea so tightly the condensation drips onto my hand, but I keep my face neutral, refusing to let my father's words break me. "Leela, you'll never match your brother's drive," he says, his voice cutting through the clink of silverware at our family dinner. The dim glow of the pendant light above casts shadows across the oak dining table, amplifying the tension in the room. We're gathered in my parents' suburban Chicago home to celebrate my brother Ethan's new role as a senior analyst at a prestigious firm. I'd raced here after a grueling 12-hour shift at my tech job, barely swapping my wrinkled sweater for a clean one. Ethan starts to speak. "Dad, that's not..." But our father's raised hand silences him. "It's just the truth, Leela. Ethan's always been the ambitious one. You chose a quieter path. Nothing wrong with that." My mother nods, her silver bracelet, my birthday gift to her last year, glinting as she adjusts her napkin. "You're dependable, Leela. Ethan's climbing the ladder." My brother in a sharp navy blazer looks uncomfortable but says nothing, his eyes fixed on his plate of roasted chicken. I glance at the bracelet, remembering how Mom had called it cute but not quite my taste before wearing it to every one of Ethan's milestone events. The weight of years of unspoken resentment presses against my chest. Then, something inside me shifts. I stand, reach into my tote bag, and pull out a folded bank statement I've carried for weeks, unsure when to reveal it. "I've been paying your bills for 3 years, I say, placing the paper on the table. "Including this house." My father's fork freezes midair. My mother's eyes narrow, but she quickly recovers, waving a dismissive hand, a gesture I know too well. "That's what family does, Leela. Ethan's career comes first." Her words sting, pulling me back to Ethan's law school graduation 5 years ago. My parents had gifted him a sleek black SUV, complete with a giant red bow. Later that day, they handed me a keychain with my college's logo. "You're already settled," Mom had said, brushing off my disappointment. "Ethan needs the support." 3 years ago, the first call came. Mom's voice was tight, explaining a short-term financial hiccup. "Just one mortgage payment," they said, "just until things stabilized." I touch the bank statement now, its edges worn from my indecision. 3 years isn't short-term, I say, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. "I've covered the mortgage, Ethan's grad school loans, and his credit card bills." My mother's lips purse. "You're being dramatic. Family helps family." I pull out a folder from my bag, thick with receipts, transfer records, and canceled checks. "This isn't help. It's $72,000 over 3 years. Ethan's head snaps up, his polished exterior cracking. "What?" My father clears his throat, avoiding my gaze. "Ethan's at a pivotal moment in his career, Leela. You're stable." Stable. The word lands like an insult, implying I'm the reliable one, the one who doesn't shine. I push the folder toward Ethan. "Look for yourself." He flips through the pages, his face paling. "You paid my loans." "My car," his voice is barely a whisper. My mother interjects. "Leela, don't make a scene." But I'm done swallowing my truth. "I'm not your bank," I say, standing taller. "I'm done." My father's voice hardens. "You're throwing away family over money?" I meet his gaze. "No, Dad, I'm reclaiming my life." I grab my bag and walk out, the weight of their expectations lifting with each step. A week later, I'm sorting through my parents' cluttered home office at their request. "You're so good with numbers," Mom says, her tone laced with condescension, as if my data analyst job is a quaint hobby. While digging through a pile of tax documents, I find something that stops me cold. A credit card statement in my name, but not mine. Ethan's. A $15,000 balance, paid off with a transfer from my savings account. My hands shake as I uncover more. Car loan payments, luxury watch purchases, and restaurant bills, all tied to Ethan's name, all drawn from my account. This wasn't a one-time favor. This was deliberate. I hear footsteps and turn to see my mother in the doorway, her bracelet catching the light. "Find the tax forms?" she asks, then notices the papers in my hands. Her expression shifts, not to guilt, but to irritation. "What is this?" I ask, holding up the credit card statement. My voice feels detached, like it belongs to someone else. My father appears behind her, adjusting his glasses. Ethan lingers in the hall, scrolling on his phone, oblivious. "Leela, don't overreact," Mom says. "Ethan's career required certain investments." "Investments?" I hold up another document. $15,000 on his credit card, $8,000 for his car. $24,000 for his loans, all from my account. Ethan looks up startled. "Mom said you volunteered the money." My mother's face tightens. "You were helping the family, Leela." Ethan needed to focus. The room feels suffocating. 3 years of believing I was bailing them out of a crisis when I was funding Ethan's lifestyle. "I've been postponing my own loan payments," I say, my voice rising. "I've skipped medical appointments because I couldn't afford them." My mother blinks, uncomprehending. "Family sacrifices, Leela. Ethan's wedding is next year. You'll help with that, of course." The assumption hits me like a slap. I grab the stack of documents and walk out, ignoring her calls. Later, I meet my coworker Nadia at a coffee shop. She pores over the papers, her expression darkening. "This isn't support, Leela. It's theft." The word jars me, reframing years of guilt as something far uglier. Over the next week, my phone buzzes with messages from cousins and aunts about a family reunion my parents are planning, without mentioning me. Nadia shows me Ethan's social media, where he's flaunting an engagement ring and a caption about the wedding of the decade. My mother's comment below reads, "Leela will make it unforgettable." They're still promising my money. I start journaling every call, every request, every dollar I've given. The notebook becomes my anchor, a record of manipulation I hadn't seen clearly until now. One evening, my Uncle Ray visits my apartment unannounced. "You've been skipping family events," he says, his voice kind but firm. "I always thought you held this family together. Now I'm wondering if they've been using you." His words break something open in me. The next day, I confront my parents in their kitchen. Ethan's there, flipping through wedding venue brochures. "The deposit's due soon," Mom says casually, assuming I'll cover it. "I'm done paying," I say. The room goes still. Ethan drops his brochure. My mother laughs, disbelieving. "You don't mean that?" "I do." I slide a folder across the counter detailing every payment, $72,000 in total. "I've been funding your lives while you call me a failure." Ethan's face crumples as he scans the numbers. My mother's voice falters. "You can't just abandon us." "I'm not abandoning you," I say. "I'm choosing myself." 2 weeks later, I accept a job offer in Portland, senior data analyst, $140,000 a year. Nadia helps me crunch the numbers. Without my family's demands, I could clear my student loans in 4 years. Uncle Ray calls to say he's proud of me for setting boundaries. "Your parents are struggling," he adds. "They might sell the house." I feel a pang, but no regret. At Ethan's engagement dinner, I arrive with a gift, a binder of every financial record wrapped in gold paper. The room, filled with relatives, falls silent as I hand it to Ethan. "This is what I've given you," I say. $72,000. The truth is my gift." Ethan's fiancée gasps as he flips through the pages. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. My mother tries to intervene, but Ethan cuts her off. "How could you let her do this?" he demands, turning to our parents. For the first time, I see my family's facade crack. Ethan confronts them, and I feel a weight lift, not just from the money, but from years of being unseen. 6 months later, I'm settled in Portland. My apartment overlooks the Willamette River, and my student loan balance shrinks with every payment. Nadia visits, and we toast to new beginnings with Uncle Ray over Zoom. My phone pings with an email from Ethan. He's taken over the mortgage payments and is learning to budget. "Mom and Dad asked me to reach out to you," he writes. "I told them it's your call." I close the email and look out at the city lights. I'm not sure if I'll reconnect with my parents, but I'm building a life that's mine. At a company dinner, my boss praises my work on a major project. When a colleague asks about family, I smile. "We're working on it," I say. "Some things take time." As I pack for a hiking trip with new friends, I find an old photo of my family at a lake house vacation. I hesitate, then tuck it into a drawer. Portland is my home now, a place where I'm more than a paycheck, where my worth isn't measured by what I give. You asked what I'd do when family only values what you can give. I'd set firm boundaries like you did, and prioritize my own financial and emotional health. Cutting off support immediately risks burning bridges, but it's the clearest way to stop the cycle of exploitation. A gradual reduction might ease the transition, but could prolong the manipulation. I'd choose the former, clarity over compromise, because people who demand your sacrifice without gratitude don't deserve your stability. I'd also seek support from trusted allies like Uncle Frank or Nadia to reinforce my resolve. Ultimately, I'd build a life where my value isn't tied to someone else's needs, just as you're doing in Seattle.